From 14 News, this is Touchdown Live in the Huddle, sponsored by your Tri-State Ford dealers. There's more in store. Stop by today.
Welcome back for a brand new episode of Touchdown Live in the Huddle. My name is Max Parker, and joining me 3 weeks in a row now, Jordan, kick off those shoes, man. Stay a while, why don't you? We got Jordan Yaney back 3 weeks in a row.
Do you literally want me to take off my shoes? It says in the teleprompter, takes shoes off, question mark. No is the answer to that. But hey, speaking of shoes, why not run it back again, Max? We had a great last 2 weeks, and we've got a busy slate for week 6 of high school football in the Tri-State.
Yes, lots of teams to preview, chatting with some players, but you know what else? Mother Nature threw us a curveball this week, so we'll have a little treat this week. 14 News Chief Meteorologist Jeff Lyons joining later in the show to give a football-specific weather breakdown. Isn't that something?
That is more than a treat. That is a full dessert.
That's a prize.
We're excited for Jeff. With those storms, no joke, tomorrow night, Jeff will give us the latest in a minute. That weather gloomy, Max, you know what, not gloomy.
I know what not gloomy, pomegranate season.
Thank you for pointing out my mistake. Pomegranate season is Max's favorite season. It's never gloomy.
It's coming.
Not the answer we were looking for, though. We wanted Player of the Week.
Okay. I love scripted jokes, man. Scripted jokes are great.
Scripted jokes are the best.
Shoot me an angry email if you don't like scripted jokes at max.parker@14news.com. Let me know if you hate these scripted jokes and be as mean as possible. I need it. All right. Anyways, Jordan.
Yes.
Take you back a little bit. That was the correct answer, Player of the Week. Last night, I went to speak with last week's winner, our Week 4 winner, Matthew Fisher. Here he is. We're back with another Player of the Week winner from Memorial, Matthew Fisher. Sir, what a performance Week 4 against Mater Dei. 4 touchdowns in the air, 1 on the ground, 289 yards passing. Nice little sprinkle of 51 yards on the ground, too, dude. What was right? Yeah. Not bad, not too shabby, sir. What was going right for you?
It was a total team effort. It was a huge win for us, and I think we just went out there and had to do our job, and that's what we did.
So team effort, we can take that opportunity. We've got the team. Who are some guys you want to bring out here?
Well, I mean, of course, the linemen.
All right. Yeah. Good work.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything more to say?
Matthew will always protect you.
See, that's nice. That's nice. You have a good group around it. Let's get an aw. Very nice. All right. Well, we got to give you your Player of the Week ball. Any presentation for him?
Congratulations.
Aww. All right, there we go. Matthew, anything else you want to say to the folks in Evansville here?
I appreciate the votes.
There you go. You heard it. He appreciates the votes. We appreciate your big-time performance. Always entertaining out there. Another week of Player of the Week, Matthew Fisher.
How about Coach Hurley? You asked for Matthew Fisher. He says, here's my entire offense, keeping you on your toes.
Yeah, it sure does. And you know what else, though, keeps me on my toes? Good transition here. Player of the Week voting. The winner announcement in just a moment. But first, one more time through those nominees. Got to give everybody some love. First up from our Game of the Week last week, Jet Goldsberry, the Heritage Hills quarterback, had quite the game. 133 yards in the air and 2 passing touchdowns. On the ground, only 9 carries. He made use of those. 148 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. That makes 5 total touchdowns for Goldsberry in a dominant win over then undefeated North Posey.
Whoa, up next, our second nominee for the week. We head to Boonville High School in Warwick County. Their running back, Nolan McKinney, put on an absolute show. 19 carries, 103 yards on the ground. How about finding the end zone 3 times? And then we love our sprinkles on our ice cream here on In the Huddle. 2 catches, 37 yards, instrumental in that tight, nail-biting 21-20 win over Linton Stockton.
Yes, sir. Now, nominee number 3 will stay right in Warwick County. Over to Castle High School, Maximus McCool, their running back, had 1 catch for 13 yards. Okay, now let's get to the meat of it. 19 carries, 210 yards on the ground, and 5 touchdowns. Max McCool always staying cool over there in Castle. Big game for him, and that's pretty obvious why he shows up on our nominee list.
And now, last but not least, we come right back to the city for a big game for Mater Dei. Specifically, a monster, almost Derrick Henry-like stat line for Caden Thacker. Get this, the running back went to work, carrying the ball 22 times, 205, reaching pay dirt 4 times. Mater Dei goes to win over Jasper 35-14. All right, we got the nominees. The votes have been counted. Max, it is time.
That it is.
From 14 News, this is Touchdown Live, Player of the Week, sponsored by your Tri-State Ford dealers. There's more in store. Stop by today.
As Jordan just said, the votes are counted. Our Week 5 Player of the Week winner is Nolan McKinney.
Max, this is the definition of a solid game. Ground and pound. McKinney made it work. He gets the nod for his big night in Week 5. And like we said, that tight win, he was the difference over Linton Stockton.
Yes, sir. We'll hear from him coming up on next week's episode of In the Huddle. But first, if your guy got passed up this week on the voting, you can change that next time. You can vote all week long by heading to the 14 Sports app, find the Player of the Week tab, and press the heart button under the player you'd like to vote for. And as I just said, vote as many times as you'd like. Now, with heavy rain in the forecast, a lot of people are wondering what to expect at games tomorrow night. Coming up on In the Huddle, Chief Meteorologist Jeff Lyons joins us with a look at the kickoff forecast.
Yeah, that's not the green we like to see on Friday nights.
No,
we want to see green grass. But also, it's time for our Tri-State Insider segment. Mitch Carter's takes on our upcoming Game of the Week.
Relive the biggest moments from Friday night's high school football games with Touchdown Live Turf Talk. We show you the top 5 plays of the week and break down who's going head-to-head in this week's biggest matchups. Touchdown Live Turf Talk, streaming every Tuesday on your favorite 14 News streaming device.
Welcome back to In the Huddle. If you're one of our returning viewers, you know what time it is. I'm joined by our Tri-State football insider, Mitch Carter. Yep, raise the roof, baby. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, sir. Happy to be back. Of course, I'm coming off my first L.
Dude.
Womp womp. Hate to see that. That's all right. That's all right. We're getting our get back.
We gotta try and cue up some royalty-free sad music or something.
What is it, week 6 now, dude?
Yeah, it is. You made it far. You made it far.
That's not bad. I'll take that.
Listen,
minor setback, major comeback.
Proud of you, man.
Thank
Proud
you.
of you.
Thank
If you're new here, this is where we break down our Touchdown Live Game of the Week. We'll talk biggest plays, who to watch out for, and of course, we'll try to get right. We'll go back with Carter's call where he picks who's coming out on top. We already talked about that.
That's right. All the respect, of course, to Coach Wilkerson on your 100th week. Congratulations. And, of course, Hater Chills as well. Never doubt Jet Goldsberry. Egg on my face. What can you do? That's all right. It was a good game. I'm happy about it.
Yep, but we do have another close one right on tap. When we keep our talents right in town here, we are going to the bowl.
That's
Castle at Wrights for our Game of the Week.
Taking our talents to the west side, baby. Here we go. Of
Aaron
course.
Hancock shout out right there.
Aaron Hancock shout out.
All right, so Mitch, 2 quality programs going head to head. What can we expect?
Well, let's start with Castle here, right? And Coach Doug Hurt. You know him, you love him. The Knights are nothing to play with. So far, a well-tested team this season, sitting at 4-1, only dropping that close one to Mater Dei. On offense, though, right? Let's talk about that. Not Castle Knights offense. They can burn you, right? Guys like Max McCool in the backfield, coming off a monster game this past week, they can get down on the Friday night. Add that to Bowden Morgan under center, and guys split out like Carter Bobie and John Eigner. They can score points in bunches.
Yeah, and then talking defensively for a moment, this is where the Knights really stand out. Benny Patterson III and Gavin Leach holding it down in the box. 2 D1 prospects there, complemented well by all of their weapons, including other guys like Trey Ward. They're a stout unit.
Yes.
So certainly looking forward to seeing Coach Hurt lead his young men on Friday, but what about the Panthers?
Let's talk Panthers, right? Coach Corey Brunson and his team have been laying it down this season, all respect to them, undefeated through 5, and with good reason, averaging just over 36 points a game, sitting at 195 on the season. Get this, only letting up 66 total in this 2024 campaign. That's a Hall of Fame percentage right there.
Yeah,
they're killing it.
That's that Wrights offense, and the defense always strong. Ben Davies under center with Landon McClarney. We'll talk about that QB position in a little bit, but Ben Davies under center, they're averaging nearly 400 total yards per game, despite losing some serious talent last year and guys like Roland Vera Jr. They don't seem to have missed a beat whatsoever this season.
Absolutely. Dangerous as always. And on the defensive side of the ball, they do a really good job of getting after the quarterback. Guys like Azari Jackson and A.J. Coates holding it down on the defensive side. Expect to see some thumping on both sides this week as these two SIAC front runners continue duking it out. Of course, always a battle every year. Two good teams, two historic programs there. Not a secret. And of course, everyone's battling to hoist that conference trophy this year. And of course, all roads lead to the bowl, right? Or to Lucas Oil, I guess, if you will. You know, everything you play is just practice, I used to hear, leading up to the big show, postseason, that kind of thing. So.
Now, the one layer I do need to add on that I want to get your takes on here.
Sure.
Wrights has played 4 different quarterbacks
I've heard.
this season.
Yes.
They've got guys like Ben Davies, the starter. Jamontre Johnson has seen time. They've got plenty of other guys in there. Parker Bomeyer, their JV starter, has seen time. So the question is, how do you go about preparing for that if you're Castle?
The thing about that in my mind is obviously there's wrinkles at the end of the day, but like quarterbacks are quarterbacks, right? And their scheme is their scheme, their offense is their offense. Another thing too, you got to remember, these are not across the state opponents, right? I mean, Castle has seen Wrights has seen Castle. Of course, things will change here and there, but and these two, Coach Brunson and Coach Hurd, have been there for a while, each of them a piece, respectfully. They both won a lot, respectfully, each of them a piece. So it's kind of one of those things where, in my mind, you know, you prepare for Wrights as a whole, right? You prepare for their weapons, whoever that may be, but at the end of the day, a Wrights team's a Wrights team, a Castle team's a Castle team, and they will have wrinkles, they'll have adjustments at halftime, that kind of stuff. But in my mind, if I'm Coach Hurt, which I'm sure he knows better than I do as far as this goes, right, being the coach,
defensive guy.
In my mind, you prepare for Wrights as a whole, and you just kind of take what they give you. Obviously, good for Wrights to have that depth to play with that, but if I'm them, just see what happens. Just walk out there, play your brand of ball, and see who they put under center, or who they switch under center, that kind of thing, as the night kind of goes on there.
Yeah, and you mentioned good for Wrights to have that depth.
Absolutely.
Pick your name out of a hat. They're still undefeated. So,
there you go.
With that in mind, time for Carter's Call. Who's it going to be? Tough one this week, buddy.
4-1 versus 5-0. Once again, difficult, but that's why the game of the week, right? That's why it's tough. That's what we're here for, right? Well, for Coach Hurt and the Knights, that one blemish, not indicative of the season so far. Close one there against Modern Day. And they've come, off that really nice, hard-fought win against Vincent's Lincoln. For Wrights, though, 5 and a big old goose egg this season, tearing them up. Look for fireworks on Friday night. But come Friday, under the big lights in that big old concrete bowl, give me the home field advantage. Give me Wrights. Give me the Panthers. Give me Coach Brunson. Let's see him move to 6-0.
All right, there you have it. We'll continue to preview our game of the week. Hear from the coaches later on in the show.
Well, it's in our contract. Anytime Wrights is Carter's Call, we got to bring in our resident West Sider chief meteorologist, Jeff Lyons. We know we'll find you at the bowl with probably.
I'd like to be anonymous for this.
Who
as
is
long as
behind
I
the
can
umbrella?
be protected. This actually, Byron scored the Perry Central. The Commodores there, in the green. And I want to bring this along. I was actually in Wrightsville for rain on Friday the 13th. And I should have known going out the door, Friday the 13th wasn't going to work out well for me. I'd even told you, I think we're going to be fine. And we had about 3/4 of an inch of rain. And I shared my umbrella with he started that, he was a little miffed at me, but after we talked for a while, he realized that, it rains on me too. So, but you're going to have one of these if you're going to the football game.
And
Friday
the
night.
problem was going into the past few weeks when we've had rain, we haven't had you on In the Huddle, so I've totally forgotten about the weather.
That's right.
But now we've got you. So
that really hurts me right to
what do
the
we
core
got?
when you forget about weather. But but
not this time. What do we got this
week? I've got
week?
thick skin. All right, here we go with some smash mouth weather for you. First off, this is the radar right now, so this is not applicable for tomorrow night, but it does show the rain already moving in from this hurricane. And in addition to the wind, or the rain rather, we're going to have some wind too. So this is the forecast just in a nutshell. Notice too the objects, loose objects flying through the air back there in the wind. So over there behind Jordan, it's right here in the middle now. The temperature's not the thing. It's going to be like 68 or 70, but the wind, and it might be driven rainfall out there. Our winds are going to be coming out of the east and then out of the northeast as this thing goes through. So depending on how your field is oriented, those field goals might be real easy or really, really hard.
Might set some
if
records
you can
tomorrow
kick
night.
it, if it's wet. And so, kickoff is usually around 6:30 into here. Look at those wind gusts that we're forecasting here, 40, 35. That's going to play havoc with the quarterbacks, anybody that's trying to handle the ball, which I guess would be the majority of the team, right? And as far as the rain goes, we've driven this into the ground, but a lot of rain, right? So throughout the day, for those that are playing on regular old turf, grass, it's going to be like a pig pen out there by 6:30, and they will tear the field up quite a bit, scrunching around. Problem is, even if the games get pushed to a different time, like say Saturday, we still have rain coming through. So it's going to be wet all weekend. I don't really know what the contingency plan is. I know a lot of these schools have the turf now, and I've talked to coaches that say, it's slick when it's wet. Now, it does drain pretty quickly, but we are not going to be able to escape the rain.
I think the question on a lot of people's minds is this going to be a miserable outing, a swampy game, or are we going to have lightning here that might push these games back?
We're not going to have lightning.
Okay.
And, that was a shocker to me, too, because, and I never trust a tropical system. So I'm saying we're not going to have lightning, my track record here. But we had a little lightning today, but I think once the rain gets started, everything in the atmosphere will kind of settle down, and you can play in rain, of course. It just isn't a lot of fun. But yeah, lightning should not be an issue on Friday night. Okay. So other than that, though, for the fan experience, we'll get back to me on that. You're going to have to be in your cloak and your rain slicker and all that kind of stuff. People do it though. I've been to many a rainy game, and there's something about it when you're stuck in the rain, and especially if your team's winning. Yeah. That's when it's good.
That's a memory.
When the team's losing and you're wet, mad, and itchy on the bottom, no, not so much.
No. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jeff. I'll give you a chance to open that umbrella up one more time and send you off. All right, then we won't. So
no more umbrella.
Instead, we'll just toss forward. Thank you so much, Jeff, for that. Coming up on In the Huddle, don't go anywhere. We've got the coaches heading up both sides of our game of the week. We'll dig into their game plans when we come back.
Plus, we are taking a walk down memory lane. We are going over some of the top plays from this past week. Mitch Carter's over at the Telestrator for us.
Relive the biggest moments from Friday night's high school football games with Touchdown Live Turf Talk. We show you the top 5 plays of the week and break down who's going head-to-head in this week's biggest matchups. Touchdown Live Turf Talk, streaming every Tuesday on your favorite 14-news streaming device.
Well, of course, you can watch us on Turf Talk on Tuesdays, but you can also watch right now. We've gotten Mitch's take on the game of the week, Castle at Wrights. He's got his prediction locked in. Now let's continue to preview the game. Let's hear from both head coaches for the teams, Jordan.
This is going to be an excellent matchup. We've already talked about the records. 4-1 Castle, 5-0 Wrights at the Wrights Bowl. That might be more like the Wrights Tub this week with all the rain that we've got.
Fair.
But it's going to be a great matchup. Wrights, one of 2 undefeated teams in the city, and their schedule has been what the schedule is. You can't help who you play, but all the 5 teams they've played do have losing records, but this is going to be their first test, and they are ready for it with a big, high-powered offense from Castle.
Offensively, they run the ball. They're a great running team. Defensively, they fly around. They got a lot of D1 guys. They got a lot of good athletes, so it's going to be definitely a tough challenge. Hopefully we can get the job done. I think if we can hopefully slow down the run game and try to get them one-dimensional, that's easier said than done. Again, it's going to be we need a great week of practice, and hopefully we can the guys can take the game plan and get better as the week goes on and be ready to go.
Now switching sides to Castle, they know they're going up against a tough team. Doesn't matter the record in this battle typically. It's always a close one, but this year, as has been the case lately, this Wright squad is stacked.
I'm sure it'll be a wild one. We're 4-1, they're 5-0. I mean, they're 2-time defending champions. They're the kings until somebody knocks them off, and we hope to go over there and play well and be in the game, and that's what all of our fans hope, and our fan base, and I'm sure their fans too. Are looking for an exciting game Friday night, and I just hope we can give it to them. Anytime you look at a game like this, you think it's going to come down to 1 or 2 plays, and certainly the turnover battle is going to play a factor in that. And so, you hope to be on the positive end of that. The one game we've lost this year, we were -2.
All right, so turnover battle's a key. Should be a fun one. I will be live at the Wrights Bowl tomorrow before the game. potentially getting downpoured upon by Mother Nature, but you know what? Soaked or dry, we will get you geared up for the big game.
Can I take a stab at making a prediction? Mitch gets he's got a monopoly on that.
The floor is yours. I'll roll out the
Carter's
carpet.
call. We got what? Yaney's Yescision.
Something.
Yaney's Yescision. I'm going to go with Castle.
Okay.
And the reason being their ground game, because we just heard from Jeff how much rain we're expecting. I don't think anybody's going to be able to throw the ball. And we know what Maximus McCool can do, a Player of the Week nominee this week. Give me the Knights. I think it's going to be who can control the trenches and who can run the ball. I'm taking them.
There you go. I was wrong week 1, so I retired.
Well, this is my first. This is the first time I'm dipping my toe into the rights tub with calling predictions, and we'll see. Anyways, we got some great plays in the game of the week to leave your jaw on the floor. Plenty of those last week. Good thing is Mitch is back in studio, here to tell you just why your jaw dropped so far with a closer look at some of last week's top plays.
Welcome in for this week's rendition of Plays of the Week, the only place you get to watch me scribble on a board and get paid for it. Let's get right into it here. Into the city, let's go over to the Bowl, where Wrights was hosting Central. The Panthers, one of the few remaining unbeaten teams in Indiana, at 4-0. Check out the young guys getting some love in here. Let's go ahead and roll it here. Under center, deep in this contest, 38, Ethan Rowe takes the snap. Stop right there. He is chugging along, baby. On the keeper, keeps it pushing right there. I mean, no gloves on, absolute menace. 51 here, can't believe what he's seeing. He's just bobbing and weaving, taking on tackles left and right. Go ahead and roll the clip here and watch as Rowe delivers the pain, walks his way into the end zone, making the score 53-7 in a thrashing there. Keep an eye on Rowe here as the years roll on by. That guy could be a problem, be a real dude right there. Wrights wins big, 60-7 over Central. Up next here from our game of the week, the North Posey Vikings welcomed in conference rival Heritage Hills. Patriots come in at 3-1. Vikings undefeated. A Patriot win, of course, to set them atop the Pocket Athletic Conference and would be the 100th career victory for head coach Todd Wilkerson. Plus, it was the Touchdown Live game of the week, so it just means more. Let's roll it here. Coming off a Posey punt for Dylan Murphy. Good one there, down inside the 10, but it doesn't matter. Here he comes. My goodness, quarterback number 3, Jet Goldsberry, bobbing and weaving. You can barely see him right there. We'll stop right up here. In a sea of black jerseys. My good, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Guy on the ground, 8, 9. That is the entire Viking team right there. Goldsberry continuing to drive those feet. Just being a tough customer, hard guy to take down. Not the kind of guy you're going to sling down to the ground. You got to gang tackles. Even here he's showing with the gang tackle, not going to be enough. Roll it here as he drives those feet and puts on a show, showing why he deserves to be a blue chip prospect right there. There he goes. One more juke. Here comes. Whoop, too easy right there. There you go. Showing off the motor a bit on that 90-yard touchdown, and that would be the story all night long. Goldsberry putting up 5 tugs all by himself. Heritage Hills leaves no doubt. Congrats to them and Coach Wilkerson on the achievement. Heritage Hills dominates 43-7. And finally up next here, staying within the PAC, let's head over to DuBois County for another really big matchup. Southridge hosting Gibson Southern in a battle of 3-1 squads. We'll go slow motion to show off the movement up front. Let's roll it here. So under center, Justin Leathers takes the snap, and check this out. We'll watch this goes down right here. We'll stop right here. So at the end of the day, this is purely just a quarterback power, right? But you can see all this window dressing you just saw right there leads to how the Raiders beat you. I think I'm kind of an expert on that subject myself. Check this out, right? Your guard and your tackle and all these guys down here block down. Meanwhile, your pulling guard comes around this guy right here and kicks this guy out, right? Number 50, there he is. And before the snap even starts, you get this motion across the field that kind of spreads everything out, especially if you're the defense kind of in a man or a zone. It kind of opens things up. It's very difficult to defend, particularly at the high school level, and that's how small schools like Southridge can beat on bigger schools. It's how that thing works, right? This one's not even defended poorly, but it just goes to show with a play like this, when run well, one little move is all it takes to spring it. Let's go ahead and roll it here. Leathers hits the hole, and watch this as this guy just out of position, makes one little move, and that's all it takes, baby. Whoop, containment is off, and there he goes. Count him up, 79 yards, straight to the crib. A house call at home for the Raiders. A field goal would put them up 14-11, but this one would come down to the wire with those tough Titans pulling out the win on Friday night. Congrats to them and to all of our winners last Friday. Check back in here next week for even more highlights.
All right, thanks, Mitch. Next on In the Huddle, we're going into the red zone and learning a little bit more about one member of Memorial's high-powered offense.
Plus a full breakdown of the Week 6 slate for all the action in the Tri-State. That rhymed. Weather permitting, Mother Nature gives a break. All right, welcome back in. It's time to head into the red zone. We got some rapid fire questions. And this red zone, kind of an after dark edition. Max has got Simon Schultz out on last night's Memorial practice. Check it out.
We're back at Memorial for another round of red zone. Simon, you ready, man?
Yes, sir.
All right, we got some rapid fire questions here. I got a minute on my clock. We're going to try and get in as many as we can in that time before the buzzer sounds. We're going to learn more about you on the football field and off the football field. So let's go. 3, 2, 1. If you could do any football move out on the field, what would it be? What's your go-to?
Stiff arm.
Stiff arm. All right. What is your favorite post-game snack?
We usually go to Casey's Dugout.
Casey's. What's your order?
Small sausage pizza with the fountain ski.
Okay. Go-to pizza crust. Let's find that. You been in Chicago at deep dish?
I have. I don't like it.
You don't? Well, now I am disgruntled. Okay. What is your go-to video game? What do you like to play?
Probably Madden.
Madden. Go-to play?
Mesh.
Mesh. Why is that?
It's always open.
Okay. Oh, are you a wizard on Madden?
I'm pretty good on the offensive side.
How about 2K?
Not good at
Not a 2K guy. All right. What is your favorite TV show?
Probably Family Guy.
Family Guy? Who's your favorite character on that?
Peter.
Peter. You got a Peter impression in the arsenal? Okay. Any dance moves? Are you a good dancer? What would you do for a talent show? You have to do something.
Maybe like spin a ball on my finger.
Well, there you go. Our timer is up here. That is another week of Red Zone. Simon, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Another week of red zone in the books. Max, that deep dish pizza response looked like it hurt you.
It did. It hurt me personally, and it felt like a personal attack. But you know what? It just left me hungry. So onwards and upwards. I could use a pizza right now. But hey, we've got some games to check out. Of course, with the massive caveat we've already talked about in the show. These are all weather permitting. Start us off, Jordan.
Yeah, we're hoping because we got some good games right in town. 2 6:30 kickoffs. Spassy at Memorial at Inlow Field. Kind of a home game for both teams. Memorial playing their home games at Inlow. Wonder where the fans will sit. Probably opt for the covered option. Jasper at Central, two teams that haven't gotten out to the start they wanted. Jasper looking to move back to 500. Central hoping to build back brick by brick. They want to rebuild with another brick tomorrow night. A good one over in Tell City, another 6:30 kick. Southridge Raiders travel to take on the Tell City Marksmen. Both squads at 3-2. Both squads coming off a loss, looking to right that ship, and they'll probably need a ship with how fun it's going to be. 7 p.m.
More
battle.
rain jokes.
More rain jokes. Boonville at Mount Vernon. New player of the week, Nolan McKinney, hopes to lead the Pioneers to a win in the maiden voyage over the sea against the 3-2 Mount Vernon squad. I could do this all day. Save some of the best for last. 7 o'clock kick. Gibson Southern at Heritage Hills. Could have easily been our game of the week if we didn't have such a good one in town. 2 Titans, no pun intended, in the pocket athletic conference. Whoa. We've also got a good Kentucky City rivalry. Apollo visiting Owensboro. Those city rivalry games always must-see Friday night action, Max.
Yes, I've got a few more, Jordan, here. Some more good Kentucky showdowns. 7 o'clock, Owensboro Catholic hoping to stay undefeated. Their next test, they host Crittenden County. Also, Hancock County, the Hornets playing host to Trigg County. Then we head over to Illinois, back over to the homeland. 7 p.m. kickoff games. Mount Carmel on the road to face Paris. Not the Olympic Paris, but Paris High School in Illinois, of course. And then, that'd be a fun game.
Beautiful Paris, Illinois.
That'd be our game of the week. Go to Paris, preview it live. There we go. But it's not there, okay. And then Fairfield has a battle at Carmine. Now, finally, there are 2 games that have been moved so far. Both going down right now, tonight, as of the last notice. We've got these games being played out. The Bowling Green Purples and the Ohio County Eagles facing off right now. And then same goes for the game at Webster County. The Trojans hosting Hopkins County Central as we speak. That'll do it for our show, though. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Touchdown Live in the Huddle, our pregame show. We hope you enjoyed our in-depth look at some of the best football teams across the tri-state.
We're back here each Thursday night at 7 o'clock to preview the teams, get you ready for Friday night action. Not possible, of course, without our great marketing and production team back there in the back. Director Caleb doing a great job for us. Special thanks to Jeff Lyons for joining us this week with that kickoff forecast.
He's a celeb. Caleb's a wizard back there making this show look good. Now, for all the highlights of your favorite games, be sure to join us back here for our Touchdown Live show every Friday night on our 14 Sports app. Do it. You won't want to miss it. Touchdown Live Plus starts at 10:45. Then, of course, we'll feature our Express version, extended this year, though. 14 News at 10. We'll have that. We'll see you there.